I just want to congratulate Robert, who joined my program yesterday, and he has a sick name. And his current goals are to get to 12% body fat. Like, he is 14 and these are his goals. Like, how awesome is that? He said that he is at 18% body fat right now, and that he only eats single ingredient foods and predominantly red meat, which is just amazing. Like, how are 14-year-olds this like high up in their health and their progress? Anyway, he wants to get to 12% body fat after he's built muscle. So Robert, what you need to do is to essentially live as if you were already at that stage. Live as if you already had built the muscle, right? So I don't want you to bulk. Lots of people bulk for ages and you go, way over your calorie maintenance limit or whatever, even though calories don't apply to humans. But what you should do is set a baseline. So you need to eat the exact same meals, exact same foods every single day. So say, for example, you eat red meat and potatoes and that's it, right? Okay, I don't know what else you eat. Maybe you eat like broccoli or something. You are gonna have that meal 3 times a day and that's it. And that is your entire day, right? So you're not gonna like one day wake up and at 9 a.m. you're gonna have like red meat and broccoli, and then at lunchtime at like 12:30 you're gonna have like chicken and rice or something, and then you're like constantly changing it up, and then the next day you have fruit at this time or whatever. I want you to set a baseline of your food. Like what I do every single morning, I have banana and raw milk like a couple of hours after I've woken up, and then about an hour after that I have beef mince and eggs, right? And I do that every single day, and for lunchtime I have beef and eggs, and I try to not have any fruit in between that. So I have this baseline of what I eat at what time every single day. And that way you can see if your body fat goes up, you can see if your weight goes up. And say, for example, you're getting stronger, but you're noticing a lot of fat, like a lot of fat gain. Maybe you reduce the amount of carbs you're eating. So say you have, like for me, say I had that banana in the morning. Maybe I don't eat that banana and see that how that affects me. The fact that you have this baseline allows you to understand what food affects you in different ways, not just like in your physique, but also how you feel. Like I notice if I eat potatoes or something, I feel like really bloated and so if I had like loads of different foods that I was eating at random times, I was eating this on this day, then this on that day, then I wouldn't be able to understand that it was the potatoes that were the problem, right? As soon as I cut out porridge, like oats, I noticed that I wasn't getting like, like dead bloated and feel fat, and I looked in the mirror and I was like pregnant. As soon as I removed oats, then I was like, oh, it's the oats, right? So you need to create this baseline that allows you to implement things and remove things, and then you can see whether your progress in the gym changes. So maybe you swap out, like, I don't know if you eat chicken or whatever, but say you swapped out chicken for beef mince instead because it's like more nutrient dense and everything. Then you eat that, and then suddenly, even though you're eating the same amount of calories, you notice that your bicep gets a little bit bigger. You can get out one more rep in the gym, right? So you can notice how different foods affect you. Now, building an aesthetic physique, you need to focus on the aesthetic muscles. So first of all, your neck, you can do neck training, you can do trap training. So like your traps there, all you need to do is basically just shrug your shoulders like that whilst holding a weight. Then you need to target the lateral delt of your shoulder by doing lat raises. You need to target your upper chest, so that is like a cable fly from low to high, or you are doing something like an incline dumbbell bench press. And then of course your lats for the width, so you have like that Dorito look. So any movement where you're pulling in close to your body like that. And you need to target those muscles more than anything. Maybe add like an extra day just focused on these muscles, or maybe do like an extra push session or something where you just target these a little bit more. So obviously don't skip leg day or anything, but because legs is not your priority if you want this aesthetic physique, then maybe on your leg day you add an extra set of lat raises, or like on your bicep day you add an extra set of like neck training or something. You do neck training 3 times a week now, right? So that is how you get the aesthetic physique. You have to target these aesthetic muscles. And of course, building an athletic physique, what I would just say is just train these sports as much as possible. The fact that you're doing football and fighting at 14 is so cool. Like, I wish I was like that at 14. Imagine if I had these goals at 14, that'd be sick. I mean, I kind of did because I started the gym at 14, but I was nowhere near this amount of progress. Like, this is just so insanely sick. Like, you're eating red meat. Like, oh my, you're crazy. This is awesome. But I would just say, train them as much as possible. So first of all, if you want to get good in football at fighting, at football and fighting, do more football and fighting, right? So maybe in your, like, if you have spare time where you've done your gym session, maybe you've done like your, you have like a football session once a week or something like that. Maybe just go and practice football out in the street. Maybe just go and ask your mates to have a kickabout. Maybe fighting, you could just ask your mates, oh, do you want to go and do something like wrestling in the park or something? It sounds a bit mental, but maybe I've done that before. Like one of my mates was like, oh yeah, sound. And it was actually kind of scary because he's like this big guy who you just don't want to go against him, right? And I had to put all my like focus in. I was like, oh Christ, I'm gonna actually have to fight him here. And we're like, who could get the other person to the ground the fastest? And, you do like some rugby tackle, and then you're trying to like push him over and stuff, and then he grabs your arm. He's like, oh no, that hurts. And you've got to put all like your fear to the side just to win this fight, right? And it's just super fun. But if you want to build this athletic physique, then you should supplement the gym. The gym shouldn't be your main thing. Because you want this athletic physique, then you want to focus on these sports that get you that. So of course you go to the gym, but that is sort of like an extra bonus to you, right? You should focus most of your time on football and fighting. You should research things like how to get better at football, how to get better at fighting. This should be like this should just be for you, right? So this is just what you are focused on, and then the gym just adds like that extra aesthetic part to your physique. Right, and of course, because you get like lots of cardio in, maybe you have to eat more. Sure, you want to get lower body fat percentage though, right? So maybe that extra cardio, that extra 100 calories that you burn, even though you don't really burn calories, that will reduce your body fat by like 1.2% or something, like over like a couple of weeks or whatever. So you not only get better at the sports, you not only build this aesthetic physique, but you also you get like a better cardiovascular engagement throughout the day, right? You're just getting more steps in, you're getting more cardio in. It's just good for your heart, good for your health, everything. So absolutely perfect. Now for the 3 things that you are currently struggling with, first of all, you said your diet. Now your diet is absolutely phenomenal, but what you said is that you struggle when your mum buys you like a snack or something and you feel like you have to eat it. So what I would say is just to try and have this ideology that you are this young guy who is absolutely unbelievably strict on his diet, and that's a good thing. I want you to be that guy who, when your mum comes and asks you, do you want this from the shop or whatever, you go, no thanks. If your mates ask you, you just go, no thanks. You speak with this conviction, not like, I don't think I do. No, you want to speak like you mean it. You say, no, I do not eat that stuff. And this is horrible, but I've done a few videos on my channel before on how to get over this. It's like almost a fear, really, of almost defying your parents, it's horrible to say, but if they buy you junk food, you just know inherently that that's bad for you, right? This won't get you to your goals. So what you have to do is you have to stand firm, you have to hold your frame and say no. If she puts down like a snack bar in front of you, you say, sorry, I'm not going to eat that. I can give it to my brother or something if you've got a brother, or I'll give it to someone else. Or you could just say, okay, yeah, sure, and then you go and give it to someone at school later, right? And you don't eat it yourself. There's two different stages. One is overcoming it yourself. So I know for a fact that like I've got this mini eggs thing right here just to make sure that I don't get addicted to these foods. Like I look at them, I stick my favorite foods in front of me just so I say no, don't eat it. I know for a fact that I'm not going to eat that. I just know that I'm not going to. But then when other people tell you to eat this stuff, like if you're out at a restaurant or something and they give you like some steak but then you get like extra like seed oils on the steak or something, you have just got to be this unbelievably strong individual who says, no, I'm not going to eat that. And if there's going to be arguments and your mom's going to say, oh no, I bought that for you, you say, I'm sorry, I'm just not eating it. And just don't. And just say, please don't buy me it in the future because I'm not going to eat it from now on. Maybe you just go down to your mum and say that right now. Mum, would you mind if you don't buy me any like snacks just from now, just because they make me feel really ill or whatever? And she might go, whoa, but just hold frame and just stick with it. Just don't break character and say, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to eat that. Be respectful, obviously. Don't just start shouting at her or anything. But you've got to stick to this. It's your life, it's your lifestyle, it's your body. So you need to stick to your goals regardless of what other people say. It's just like anything, like starting the gym, people are gonna cringe at you and say, oh, you know, like, why are you starting the gym? It's gay or whatever. And you've got to say, no, I just want to build a good physique, so I'm gonna go regardless of what you say. It's the same thing. Knowledge on building athletic physique, I've already given you that, but there's obviously lots of modules within the training program in this course. And then your sleeping habits, I did do an extra module called sleep optimization, and that is in the Growth Accelerator course, which will dive into the absolute best strategies that I have used, that I have implemented into my life to make sure that I correct my sleep. But like, for example, one of them is to set an alarm for the exact same time you go to bed and the exact same time you wake up every single day. That should be a non-negotiable. You should have an alarm that you wake up to every single day. And to ensure that you don't, like, because you said habits here, just to ensure that you do wake up, I always put my phone there, like on my chair there. So I wake up in the morning and I've got to physically get out of bed and walk over to my chair to turn off my alarm. And that has worked for years. I cannot remember the last time I didn't do that, right? So I walk over to my chair and then I've got to like turn it off, and I'm not going to get back in bed at that point because I've already got up and I'm like, ugh, you know. And by that point, you're just like ready to start the day. So it's just implementing these small little tactics that are in that sleep optimization course that will help you perfect your sleep, as it has done with me. So well done, mate. You are doing fantastic. Keep up the good work and implement those extra little steps to just accelerate you even further beyond literally any single person I know when you're 14. Like, it's just insane. But yeah, have a good day. I'll see you later. Good night.